Hello everyone, my name is Dana Jones and welcome to Curbacad. Today we have with us a very outstanding guest. Hailing from the Campion College, Zara Ranglin placed not once, not twice, but 4 times in the Caribbean and twice in Jamaica. Thank you so much, Zara, for joining us this morning. So, how does it feel to have your name placed 6 times in total on the merit list?
It's a feeling of satisfaction because I put a lot of hard work into studying for those exams. I actually really made the effort this year to be able to do as well as I possibly could because I really wanted to see, how well I could do on these exams, and I guess it turned out well.
Quite interesting. What was your initial reaction to seeing your name placed so many times
on the list? Well, when the list came out, we were in school. It came out during the daytime, and everybody was excited. Everybody was going crazy. I think our teachers were a bit concerned because everybody was just, screaming.
Over the moon.
Oh my gosh, you can da-da-da-da-da, not just me, but everybody in the year who had placed in something, and so it was just this big air of excitement. Everybody just really wanted to hail up all their friends, say yes, you did it. People weren't expecting some of them, so it was just, I guess I was just caught up in everybody's excitement.
That's so sweet. So what is so interesting about you is that you place in subjects that are not necessarily related. The sciences, biochem, physics, TD, IT, and then English literature. How did you manage to prepare for these subjects? Was it a different approach for each one of these 6, or what was your strategy?
Okay, so yes, for each subject, especially the ones that are very different, there was a slightly different strategy. So for the sciences and IT, I actually started in March and tried to read off the entire textbook. So I actually, for the sciences, I read the whole textbook. And I don't mean the concise. I wouldn't advise you to study from a concise. But the textbook, I went through the whole textbook, so I would say, okay, I need to read this many chapters per week. And even though sometimes it was falling behind and a lot of it ended up happening during study leave, I still tried to start early to be able to read off all those books, because I realized that, because I had done some exams before, that the content is very important, and if you don't know the content, you can't answer the exam questions. So I didn't want there to be anything I hadn't studied. And then for literature, I actually wrote a lot of practice essays.
Wow.
Between January and
practice
the exam.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah. Between January and the exam, I think for literature I wrote 18 essays.
Wow. 18?
Yeah, 18 essays, because my problem is I write very slowly. So I would end up not finishing. The only thing that I was afraid of really was not finishing. So I knew that I needed to be able to practice so that I could be confident that I could actually finish the exam and not write, 2/3 of a good essay, but write a full good essay. So that was the practice for that was very important for me, because if I didn't write all those essays, I probably wouldn't have finished the exam. And I knew that once I finished the exam, I would be fine. That would be okay. But if I didn't finish, I wasn't going to be going anywhere. So I needed to finish those exams. And technical drawing, we spent a lot of time on the SBA, but towards the end, we started doing some of the preparations for there's a question that asks you to sketch and design. I was doing building, because it's divided into building and mechanical. So they can ask you to, sketch a window of a certain type, sketch a door of a certain type, sketch rafters, sketch a foundation, any number of things. So I had to SWAT TV.
But it works for you.
Yeah. So I had to study all those different types of things and know that I really knew how to draw anything that they would throw at me. So that was how I prepared for each of those subjects. And then I had good teachers at Campion who would, push me to do better in those subjects. They, most of them gave us review. Most of them would help us to go over what we had done. And even though for some subjects we had to spend a lot of time on the SBA, we still finished the syllabus in all of them. So the teachers also helped me with that. And then I did go to extras. I think that if you can go to extras, it will really help you. They allow you to hear a different perspective. So I didn't just go to subjects that I was struggling in. I think the subject I was struggling most in was AdMath.
AdMath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that subject was really challenging for quite a number of students.
For me, it was a real challenge. So I definitely went to extras for that in 5th form at Campion, and I also went in subjects that I wasn't struggling in, like chemistry. I went to chemistry extras because the teacher who was doing it, I knew to be a very good teacher, and so I just wanted to hear a different perspective, because even though the teacher I had in school was also very good, sometimes just having it from 2 people allows you to gain a different perspective.
That's great.
So that also helped me in preparing for all those subjects. Yeah.
So it's funny how you said you had a struggle with AdMath, and now you're doing pure math.
Yeah.
So how do you find 6th form now? You're at Campion 6th form. You should be over the moon. How do you find the 6th form life
at Campion?
Yes.
Well, they did tell us it would be challenging. I don't think many of us really knew it would be quite this challenging. But even though it's definitely a challenging program, our teachers are excellent. For the most part, obviously you have your little problems, your little issues, but for the most part, it's a very good experience. They help us to want to do better. They give us all the information that we need for the subjects. So, but generally, it's a good experience. We're learning, but I'm not going to say that it's not without its issues. We are definitely still adjusting. We're definitely still getting used to it and learning how we can do better. And
I guess you would have to adjust more than many people because you're doing 6 subjects.
Yeah,
which is
I'm crazy.
I guess.
Well, I chose 5. I chose 3 sciences and English and literature is English, but I was told that I needed to do pure math for college, the applications and everything, that they like to see that you're enrolled in a math course. So I still had to do pure math, even though AdMath was such a struggle. So pure math, I won't say that it's easy for me, but I'm not failing or anything like that.
Yeah,
so it's, even though it's not the easiest of things for me, I think I'm still managing to do all right in it, to be able to, just get by so I can do the exam.
So, career choice, I know you're interested in the sciences.
Yes.
So what do you want to become in the future?
I want to do research in microbiology. So I want to study diseases, that's like studying viruses, bacteria at the, microscopic level. So just to be able to hopefully work on a cure for something.
Yes, hopefully the cure for cancer, HIV, I think that would help.
Yes, it would definitely. I want to be able to, help the world with something that I can do. So that would be a dream come true for me.
So definitely, and for many people.
Yeah.
So outside of your academic life, I know you're an excellent violinist and you sing very well. So can you tell us a little bit about your extracurricular activities? And just walk us through that.
Extracurriculars. Okay, so even before high school, especially in my last 3 years of prep school, I went to St. Hugh's Preparatory during that time. I went to other schools, but that was the school I was going to during that time. And that's St. Hugh's, they have a big focus on extracurriculars. They allowed us to have a lot of exposure. So I was on the quiz team, I was playing chess, I was doing just a number of different things. Yeah, so even from that stage, I was very involved in extracurriculars, and from even before then, I was into music. I was playing piano from about 4, but I was in some 12 years later. I really don't think I'm good at singing it at all.
Yeah, 16.
I think I'm quite bad actually for the stage that I'm at. But I had always wanted to play the violin. Since I was a young child, 6-7 years old. Probably before then, I always was asking my mother, Mommy, can I please play violin? Can I stop piano and play violin? So she said, okay, when you turn 10, I'll let you start. So I started when I was 11. 11. So since then, that was first form. I started in the September first form. It's been very good. I have an amazing teacher. I go to Mrs. Paulette Bellamy for lessons, and She's amazing. I love the instrument, and I think that over time, because you should know that beginner violin is it's a struggle.
I play the violin as well.
You also play, I know you play. So it's that the first year
you start off rough,
yeah,
and then eventually
you get better. So yeah, my first year, I think it wasn't that I wanted to give up, but definitely it sounds bad, and you're like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get better? But it's getting better now. I would definitely not say that I'm an advanced player. I wouldn't say that I'm, going to be a professional soloist. Yeah. But I think it's definitely got to the stage where I can enjoy making music on it.
Did you take any grade exams or anything like that?
I've never taken any exams per se, but if you were to put it at a grade level, I'd probably be around grade 6 if I were to do an exam. That's good. I have to work towards a grade 6 exam.
You just have 2 grades away.
To grade 8.
Yeah, which is
I'm actually in grade 7 piano, and I still think I'm awful.
Wow, but that's very impressive.
Yeah, so just being in a high grade, I don't think that makes you good at the instruments. If somebody hears you play your exam pieces, they'll be like, wow, but then you yourself know that you're really bad. I can't sight read on the piano. I failed my sight reading last year. When I say failed, the pass mark is 6 out of 10. I got 5. So
okay.
I did fail. So
you're not exaggerating?
No, I'm not exaggerating. I actually did fail sight reading.
At least you mentioned your failure.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'm not successful all the time. I don't think that I am. I do fail sometimes. In 4th form, I remember there was an ADMAT test that I got 23% on. So, yeah, 7 out of 30. So that was quite an interesting experience.
And that's good to know, because a lot of students would expect top students and students
just
get
all the time.
A's and 100%
not all the time.
Every single day.
And even though some people might say, oh, but you're still getting an A average, you're still doing well, sometimes you don't meet your own standards, which is also just as difficult as not meeting somebody else's standards, because you know that you want to reach a certain place, and when you don't reach there, it's very disappointing. So even if, and I'm not saying that's me, but even if you wanted to get, a 90 and you got 89.4, you're going to be terribly disappointed. You're going to be beating yourself up, even though it's literally 0.1% difference between the two. It feels like the end of the world because you were 0.1% away from meeting your goal. So even though you might still be doing well, definitely not meeting my own standards is very difficult for me because I'm very hard on myself. So yeah, that can be very...
So what would you say is one of your best qualities?
I think one of my best qualities is that I'm motivated and passionate when there's something that I really want to do. I think that I can work towards something that I really want, but definitely I would say that is hindered by the fact that I'm a naturally lazy person. I don't think that I'm naturally driven. I think that I have to personally force myself to overcome laziness, to overcome the tendency to not want to do any work, to overcome the natural inertia that I have that this will make me sit down all day and do nothing when I have a ton of work to do. So that's definitely one of the biggest challenges, but I think that the fact that I'm hard on myself and the fact that I'm motivated allows me to kind of overcome that a little bit, but it's still definitely a struggle. I'm not perfect in any way, shape or form. I get angry, I get irritated, I can be a very not nice person. So I definitely know that I have a lot of personal challenges that I have to overcome to be able to be successful, but at the same time I think that the drive, the passion for wanting to be better and wanting to reach somewhere will help me to kind of temper the laziness that's always there.
So Zara, tell us, do you have any role models?
Role models, I think definitely my parents would be main role models, just to seeing how they worked very hard to reach where they are right now. They were never, life was never set out for them on a golden platter. They had to work for anything that they wanted to achieve. my dad lived way up in Temple Hall, went to JC, had to, you know, overcome the challenges of having to take the bus home, having to be able to overcome all these many obstacles.
Yeah.
Like my mother had to work hard. She was never, she boarded for her entire school experience. She had to help herself a lot of the time. So just seeing the things that they had to do when they were growing up, it helps me to see somebody who really had to work so that I can know that I have to work too, and I'm not just going to sit here and expect everything to come to me. So
that's great. And right before we leave, what advice would you give to a kid who is striving to be placed on the merit list?
Striving to place, work hard. You have to study. There's no way around it. I did subjects in 4th form. I did not study for them, and even if you're bright, you might think that, or if people tell you that you're bright, which sometimes I think is the case with me because I think I'm not always that you know, I don't think I always have that much sense, but definitely you have to work hard. It's not just going to happen. If you start studying the day before, like I did in 4th form, you might get a 1 because, you know, if you did well on your SBA or whatever, that might help you and you might still get a 1. But if you want to place, the work is necessary. You have to study. You have to practice for subjects like writing subjects, math. You have to practice. If you are, I think you should also focus on, because you know you do 7, 8, 9 subjects in 5th form. So you should focus on the subjects that you are good at. For example, I knew I wasn't going to place in ADMA. I just wanted to get a 1 in ADMA.
At least you got it? Yeah.
I didn't even, there were times I didn't even think I would get it. I definitely know I lost at least, I know for sure that I lost at least 20 something marks on the paper too. And I probably lost more than that. So you definitely, you have to focus on what you're good at. If you're a math person, put your heart and soul into math, practice every day. If you're a writer, practice your essays, practice, read the novels over and over, focus on developing a strategy, because you should always go into a literature exam having an idea of what you're going to write. So don't go into there blind, just make sure that you know exactly what you're going to write. What I did personally for that exam as well was to choose beforehand the books that I wanted to write about, or the poems that I wanted to write about. Well, not the poems, but the themes that I would prefer to, you know about, the things that, so for example, I went in knowing that I was going to write about, what were the books again? Tijon and His Brothers and To Kill a Mockingbird. And so I just didn't look at any of the other questions. I prepared for those, and I went into the exam. I couldn't even tell you what the other questions were about. So just go in knowing what you're going to do. Go in knowing I'm going to do this, this, and this. For the other subjects, the sciences that you don't really know what they're going to ask you, you have to study everything. There's no way around it. You have to spend a lot of time with those books. You have to spend a lot of time reading. That's just what you have to do if you want to do well in those subjects. So definitely, if you want to place, work hard and study. It sounds cliche, but that's really what it is. There is no way around it. There's no magical formula to say, oh, I'm just going to inject myself with good at science serum. That doesn't happen. So it's not just I'm going to wake up one day and be good at physics. That doesn't happen. I placed in physics. I still don't think I'm good at physics. It's just that I studied hard for that exam. I went to extras, which isn't even necessary, but it helped me. So if you can do it, it's very helpful. And I just worked hard for that exam, and the paper happened to be what I had studied, so that just allowed me to be able to do it. So even if you're not even if you don't think you're particularly good, you might still be able to do well in that subject just by preparing for it. So focus, like cut off the things you definitely know you're not going to be good at. Just make sure you're ready to do well in those. But if you know I am the chemistry student, I can do this, study your chemistry. Spend time with that book and make sure you can do it.
Okay, so it definitely was indeed a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. And there we have it, Zara Ranglin, one of the Caribbean's top students. Hi guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please share and comment. The mission is to inspire as many youth as possible. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on your notification bell to be notified of our new video.